Okay, we're here with Adam Buckley, driver of number 67, aka Grumpy.
Yeah.
Where did you get that one from?
Yeah, it's a bit cryptic. So initials are AB, as in Alan Border, Captain Grumpy. So yeah, years of playing cricket.
Cricket, the cricket days.
Yes, I got tagged with his nickname. So I'm not really grumpy. You all know that. So
Yeah,
it's a
I
bit
can
of
understand why.
a conundrum, but anyway, it's all good.
Okay, so we move on. Well, I can understand you being grumpy at 55 years old.
Yeah, old 55.
It gets you, yeah, no matter what.
Yeah,
You're a banker.
yeah.
Been doing that for a lot of years.
Too long.
Too long.
Too long. I had a good break in the middle for 10 years. Thought I'd never go back to it, but yeah, been back for about 15 years now. But no, it has its moments. It's a good job, yeah. And you get connected to a lot of good people and people like Gulf Western Oil, for example. So yeah, it's been good for that.
So you started your first season in 2017-18 season. Tell us about your first race.
How long you got?
Well, you've got to shorten it up.
Yeah.
But,
So my first race was an Australian title. So we decided to buy a GP Midget, and we brought Scott Moyer's old Walker GP Midget, which got a lot of pedigree, and it's still in the club. It's still going around, but it had won multiple titles and umpteen championships and stuff. So we purchased that one because it was race ready and ready to go. And I'd never sat in a race car before at all. So we got to the track at Goulburn for the Australian title, and they only let me race because they needed 10 cars to qualify the race. So they allowed me to race, and I had to start off the back, which was fine. But mate, it was a baptism of fire. So all sorts of things went wrong. I had no brakes, I had no clutch. The pits were chockers at Goulburn, and at Goulburn they were so full they had us right up the back of the pits, and it's up on the side of a hill. So because I had no clutch and the starter motor wasn't working, we had to push start it. So Derek Murphy in his wisdom decided that he'd tell me to start the car in race gear. So I'm in third gear, pushed me off the hill, kick started it, it went, and I couldn't stop it. So I got down into the dummy grid and nearly wiped out half the pits. And I don't know how I didn't kill someone that day, but that was the first time I started the car. But it was just a hectic night. Having said that, I loved it. Like, I was hooked. I was addicted from that moment forward. But we came sixth in the title, first go. And it was, mate, it was awesome. It was a great night. But I think I look back on it now and I just shake my head and I'm just like, holy crap, it was hectic. But yeah, that's where it all started.
Okay. So you did have some sort of connection with GP Midget Racing via that through your dad.
Yep.
How long ago was that?
Yeah, a long time ago. So mate, I would have been 5 years old, so 50 years ago. And yeah, Dad brought the Walker number 6 red GP Midget, micro midget back in the day. Dennis Johnson had just finished driving it. John Bond had driven it. Wally was still driving. Clive was still driving. Coxie was still there. So it was around about 72, I'd reckon. He raced for a year or two in that car. So yeah, we were there every Saturday night. And mate, at 5 years old, I was a Speedway tragic off the hill. I just wanted to go to the Speedway every week, and loved the super modifieds. You know, loved all that stuff. Loved the Grand Nationals and loved the bikes. Loved Liverpool in its day. It was just phenomenal. So yeah, if only we could get those days back, mate. It was incredible times, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. How's your record with race wins?
I do have a spreadsheet somewhere. Mate, I don't know off the top of my head. I've won a feature, which is great. I'm happy about that. And that was in the old car too. That was at Bega. I think I've run second in a feature at Bega and won a feature at Bega. Won a bunch of heats and stuff like that. Been on the podium a lot, which is great. Mate, I've got to say though, having said all that, I really don't care. I just love being out there and doing it. Just my happy place is actually when I roll out onto that track. People say, don't you get nervous? Do you worry? Do you get nervous? Like, no, I'm never most relaxed than when I am sitting in that race car going out onto the track. And mate, I just love it. I don't care where I come. It's not important. But being out there and racing and coming back and having a laugh and backslapping the guy that you've been 2 inches off the back of him and stuff like that, that's gold.
It's all part of it.
Yeah.
There's a bit of camaraderie.
Absolutely.
With the sport. So, your favourite track?
Yeah, up until now, it's been Cullenbullen. So I love Cullenbullen. It's the surface. It's just conducive to GP midgets running around in a little pack. There's no real great advantage to the cars that are more pacey there. So I just feel that it's a bit of a leveler, that track, and the crowd love it when we go there, and we love it. So you can race wheel to wheel there with confidence. And the racing's close and it's competitive. So that up until now, that's probably been my favourite.
Talking about the faster guys, you've just purchased a very fast car.
Yes.
You've had a bit of a tinkering run with it just recently.
Yep.
Are you feeling comfortable with that?
The car, I feel comfortable in the car. It's still an unknown to me. Well, we know what the car can do. The car's awesome. So the car won the Triple Crown a couple of years back with Rod in it. Janelle won everything there was to win in it about a season or two ago. The thing's a Learjet. How's it going to go with me in it? Mate, I've got a lot to learn still. Like the only race we've had in it was at Lake Liddell. You know, you don't get out of first gear there. And, it was okay, but... I think it'll be the driver, mate. This driver needs to learn how to drive. That car's going to be way in front of me, and at some stage I'll catch up to it, and that'll be great. But in the meantime, I just don't want to bend it.
Yeah. So really, what you need now is time in the seat.
Yeah, and I'm not in a hurry, mate. As I say, it's not like winning races it's not why I do it. But having said that, I want to do that car justice, and I feel very privileged to be able to purchase that car and be able to drive that car. It's got a lot of pedigree already, and mate, I just hope I can do the job.
It certainly looks the part.
Yeah.
You've got the gear to do it.
Yeah.
So I suppose
it's all on me now. No pressure.
Go after it.
Yeah.
So who's had the biggest influence on you in wanting to get into racing?
Look, it's not an easy question to answer. Like, I'll say my dad. He passed away 10 years ago, and it's gut-wrenching to me that he's not here. I would give anything for him to be here. But what I did not expect was, this came out of nowhere. My wife decided one day she knew I'd love Speedway, and mate, I'd played cricket my whole life. I was good at it, played at a high level. It took up my Saturdays on it through the summer, so had no inclination to want to race, and I suffer from motion sickness, so I can't, like if I'm in the car driving down the road and I'm driving, I'm okay, but if I'm a passenger, I get sick. So I just always thought I'd never be able to do it, so I never bothered. I'm just going to get sick. For some weirdo reason, I don't. So if I go in a go-kart, I get sick. But in a GP midget running around in circles, I'm okay. But so anyway, long story short, Ange, she decided one day she's going to buy me this GP midget for $1,500, and that planted the seed. So, and I got into it. But since then, what I didn't expect was the people that were going to be involved. I did not even contemplate or realise who was still around. So to lob up, and one of the first people I got introduced to is Wally Kermond, who was just iconic and one of my heroes when I was little. I'm watching these guys race around, and he's still around. And then Gary Coleman, those two guys. They're like my dad, both of them. So, mate, they're amazing guys. So,
you learn from them, and there's a history. And
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and mate, they take care of me. They make sure that I'm okay, and I'm not mechanical. It's my biggest regret in life that I didn't listen to my dad more. So I've got zero mechanical aptitude. I might be able to add up, but that's about as far as it goes. So, without those two, I wouldn't be here doing it.
It's never too late to learn.
Correct.
talking about support, you mentioned Ange there, and that's great that you have a partner that is supportive. Sponsors.
Yeah, mate, where do you start? I mean, again, when I got into this, it wasn't forefront in my mind, and first of all, they came out of the woodwork, which was great. So when I started doing this, there were a couple of them that sort of approached me and wanted to assist and support. But it's just been incredible. I'm very, very lucky. So my support crew, Golf Western Oil, which is also a club sponsor, we're the envy of most other divisions. None of them have a corporate sponsor like we have in GP Midgets in Golf Western Oil. They blend oil specific to our cars and all this sort of stuff, and they pump a lot of money into our club, which we've been able to do a lot of stuff with, right? So we're prize money, tow money, trophies, all sorts of stuff. They're incredible. They're great for us. But mate, Shore Hire, Luke Geelan, he's just an amazing guy. He built my trailer. Anything I need, he's there for me. So he's an amazing guy. And there's a whole pile of the rest of them, For me personally, Be Safe Travel is my wife, Angela. Now, she doesn't come to the track very often. Again, without her, I just wouldn't be doing it. So she's my biggest supporter. So, and when she comes to the track, I love it. I just feel safe when she's there, right? But Penrith City Tyres and Automotives, they're great. They're fantastic for me. There's about 8 of them. Can't even think of the rest of them off the top of my head. Argent Motors, who are they? Really? Gary Bowyer, he's a funny story in himself, mate. So
probably the man you need to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, Gary, we've known each other a while. We played cricket together. I approached him to paint the car in the first place. I was like, mate, I've got into this GP Midget thing, and his ears pricked up straight away. He's like, there's a guy that works for us that did that. I'm like, oh, really? Yeah. So anyway, took the stuff down there and painted it, and Jason Goodwin was down there and all that sort of stuff. And it was just Pandora's box just opened. Well, yeah, lo and behold, wouldn't you know it, a couple of months went by and Gary buys himself a GP Midget. Now he's as hooked as what I am. But Gary's incredible. The things that he's doing for this club, Argent are fantastic. They sponsor the club. Anything I need, Gary's there for me. He kicked off White Ant Racing, which is now building GP Midgets, maintaining GP Midgets. Anything that goes wrong with my car, he's there for me. And he's amazing, mate. He's a massive asset to this club, for sure.
So what advice would you give to some newcomer coming along, especially a young guy, wanting to get into a GP Midget?
Look, we're in a unique situation right now that the hardest part about getting into it is the unknown about what it's going to be like, right? So you've driven, I've driven. We know all it takes is to get in the car and have a go, and pretty much you're addicted and you're hooked and you realise, hey, I can do this, and it's fun. Now, so I'd encourage young guys, anybody, doesn't matter. I'm 50 when I got into this, so was Gary. We got cars. Come and see us. You can have a go. Just come and have a go. Get in the car, go for a spin. We'll look after you. Just do that. Just do that. Everything else will take care of itself. You don't need to know everything there is to know about these things. We're all there to help each other. It's not about that. It's about having fun. So start with that.
So what are you most looking forward to in the coming season? Given that there's been 3 years of so much interruption, it's not just floods and fires and COVID again and more floods, but it's also the major track in Sydney, Parramatta, closing down.
Yep.
Waiting for a new one to be built. All those things. So all divisions been suffered and smothered for some time. And they're probably all to an extent having to go through a rebuild phase. So that's what the GPs are at the moment.
Yeah, yeah.
So coming season? What are you looking forward to the most?
Oh, just what you just said. I think just getting back out there. I mean, we've just starved of racing, and we're all. I'm sure I'm like everybody else. When I get up in the morning to go to work, I have to walk through my garage to go out the front, and I have to walk past that GP midget, and I look at it.
You just want to stay there.
Yeah, and and on a weekend I go out and I start it and sit in it, and that's as close as you get, right? And you just want to like kick it into gear and go around the block, but you can't do that. So. Look, I think it's just getting back out there, mate, and just get back into racing because it's just so enjoyable. So yeah, like God willing, weather's kind to us because that's the only thing that's going to stop us now. So the club itself, from that perspective, yeah, we grew and things were going really well. All 3 years of just mayhem, right? So and we've taken a hit in numbers. So we're kind of back to where we started from again from sort of 5 years ago. So, but the signs are all there. We're growing again. There's good people around. I'm really confident we'll be back up to sort of 10 to a dozen cars during this season. Really, really confident with that. So for us, it's just about bums on seats. So again, what am I really looking forward to? Get back into racing because that's the only way we're going to get more cars on track and start to grow back up to where we should be.
All right. Thanks for coming along tonight. Thanks for the chat.
Good. Pleasure.
I take my hat off to you with how you've performed so far in your short time in GPs and what you've done for the club. Let's see it go from strength to strength.
Always. Cheers, mate.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.